ever walk into a room and feel your confidence just evaporate? You start scanning faces, looking for a smile, a nod, any signal to tell you you're okay, that you belong. It's a silent, frantic search for approval that leaves you feeling small. Most people think confidence is something you perform, but it's actually something you stop seeking. 99% will miss the final framework in this video because it feels counterintuitive, and they'll remain trapped in that exhausting cycle of needing everyone else to validate them. Seeking signals. There's this fascinating and incredibly common pattern I see in our human behavior lab, and it's something that we are all wired to do from a very young age. We are, at our core, social creatures. Our survival for thousands of years depended on our ability to stay within the tribe, to be accepted, to be seen as valuable. So our brains developed this incredibly sophisticated system for scanning our environment for social cues. We look for smiles, for open body language, for nods of agreement. When we receive these positive signals, our brain gives us a little hit of dopamine, that feel-good neurochemical. It's a reward. It tells us, yes, you're safe, you're liked, you're doing it right. This entire process is what I call the external validation loop. It's a powerful, often subconscious driver of our behavior. And in today's world, it has been supercharged. Every like on a social media post, every compliment on a presentation, every laugh at a joke we tell at a dinner party, it all feeds this loop. The problem is, this system is incredibly fragile. It makes our sense of self-worth entirely dependent on external sources. It's like plugging your phone into a power outlet that you don't control. As long as the power is on, you feel charged, capable, and confident. But the moment someone unplugs you with a critical comment, a dismissive glance, or even just a lack of a positive reaction, your battery dies. Your confidence plummets. You're left feeling drained, insecure, and desperately searching for another outlet to plug into. This is why so many of us feel like our confidence is a roller coaster. One day we're on top of the world because our boss praised our work, and the next we're in a spiral of self-doubt because we felt awkward at a networking event. We are outsourcing our self-esteem. We are giving the remote control for our emotions to everyone else around us. The truly confident people, the ones who seem to have this steady, unshakable sense of self, have learned to unplug from this system entirely. They've discovered that true sustainable confidence is an inside job. It's not about getting more positive signals from the outside, it's about learning how to generate your own power from within. This is the fundamental shift, the secret that changes everything. It's moving from seeking validation to building it. It requires rewiring some of our most deeply ingrained social habits, but the research is clear. It is absolutely possible. Our brains have something called neuroplasticity, which means they can and do change based on our deliberate thoughts and actions. We can build new neural pathways that create a foundation of confidence that isn't dependent on the whims of the outside world. It starts with recognizing just how often you are scanning for those external signals. The next time you're in a meeting, just notice. Are you speaking to share your idea? Or are you speaking and then immediately searching the faces of your colleagues for approval? When you post something online, are you sharing something you're proud of? Or are you anxiously refreshing the page, waiting for the likes to roll in to tell you it was worthy of being shared? This awareness is the first crucial step. You cannot change a pattern until you see it clearly. The external validation loop is a treadmill. It feels like you're moving forward because you're constantly chasing that next hit of approval, but you're ultimately staying in the same place, emotionally exhausted, and never truly arriving at a place of stable self-worth. Breaking free isn't about becoming cold or indifferent to others. It's about becoming anchored in yourself, so you can interact with the world from a place of fullness, not from a place of need. Internal compass. So if the secret isn't about getting more validation from others, what is it? It's about cultivating what I call an internal compass. This is the radical and life-changing shift from an external locus of evaluation to an internal one. It means that you become the primary source of your own validation. Your sense of worth, your measure of success, your feeling of I am okay comes from your own internal scorecard, not one that is handed to you by your boss, your partner, your friends, or strangers on the internet. This sounds simple, but it is a profound rewiring of our social brain. How do we actually do this? The science points to a few key, actionable practices. The first is defining your own metrics for success. People stuck in the external validation loop let the world define their metrics. Success is getting 100 likes. Success is when everyone in the meeting agrees with me. Success is getting the promotion. An internally validated person defines their own. Success is sharing my authentic opinion regardless of the reaction. Success is creating something I am genuinely proud of, even if only 10 people see it. Success is honoring my own values in this negotiation, not just winning. See the difference? The first set of metrics is entirely out of your control. The second is entirely within it. This immediately takes the power back. You start playing a game you can actually win because you set the rules. The second practice is what researchers like Dr. Kristen Neff call self-compassion. This is a huge one. When we make a mistake or face a setback, our external validation-seeking brain goes into panic mode. It interprets failure as a sign of social rejection, a threat to our belonging. The inner critic gets loud, telling us we're not good enough. Self-compassion is the antidote. It's treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a good friend. Instead of saying, "I can't believe I stumbled over my words in that presentation, I'm such an idiot," you say, "That was tough, and I felt nervous. It's okay. Many people get nervous during presentations. What can I learn from this for next time?" This isn't about letting yourself off the hook. It's about creating psychological safety for yourself. This internal safety is the fertile ground where confidence grows. When you know that you will catch yourself if you fall, you become much more willing to take risks, to be vulnerable, and to step into challenging situations, all hallmarks of a truly confident person. The third piece of building your internal compass is the practice of evidence gathering. Your brain is a meaning-making machine, but it often has a negative bias, remembering criticism more vividly than praise. You have to consciously override this. I encourage my students to keep what we call a success log. And I don't just mean big wins, I mean logging small, daily moments of internal alignment. Today, I said no to a request that would have drained my energy. Today, I spoke up with an idea in a meeting even though my voice was shaking. Today, I finished a difficult task without procrastinating. These aren't things that anyone else would necessarily praise you for, but they are data points. They are evidence that you are capable, that you are trustworthy, that you can rely on yourself. Over time, reading back through this log literally rewires your brain to see yourself as a competent, effective person. It builds a library of proof that your worth is inherent and demonstrated by your actions, not granted by others' opinions. This isn't a one-time fix. It's a daily practice, like strengthening a muscle. Every time you choose to define your own success, every time you meet a failure with self-compassion, and every time you acknowledge your own small wins, you are strengthening that internal compass. You are becoming your own source of power, your own anchor in the storm of social opinion, radiating certainty. Once you begin to cultivate that internal compass, something truly magical starts to happen. Your internal state begins to change your external signals. You stop subconsciously sending out cues that say, "Please like me, please approve of me," and you start radiating a quiet, calm certainty. This isn't about being loud, arrogant, or dominant. In fact, it's the opposite. It's a groundedness that is incredibly magnetic. People who are desperately seeking validation tend to have nonverbal cues that are questioning and uncertain. They might have a slight upward inflection at the end of their sentences, turning statements into questions. Their eye contact might be darting, scanning faces for a reaction. Their posture might be closed or slightly hunched, a subconscious attempt to make themselves smaller. But when you are operating from a place of internal validation, your nonverbals align with that inner state. Your vocal tone becomes more resonant and grounded. You start speaking with a downward inflection, using what we call vocal periods, which signals confidence and finality in your statements. Your eye contact becomes steady and connecting, not seeking. You're not looking at people for a reaction, you are looking to connect with them. Your posture naturally becomes more open and expansive. You take up the space you deserve because you internally feel you deserve it. This isn't a performance, it's a congruence. It's your outside matching your inside. One of the most powerful frameworks for putting this into practice is what I call the decide and declare method. People who seek external validation often hesitate to make decisions. They crowdsource their opinions, asking everyone what they should do, hoping someone else will give them the right answer and the approval that comes with it. The decide and declare method flips this. First, you use your internal compass, your values, your metrics, to make a decision. You decide what you think, what you want, or what you believe is the right course of action. The second step is to declare it simply and calmly. For example, instead of saying, "I don't know, what do you guys think? Should we maybe try the Italian place? Or is that okay with everyone?" You would say, "I'd love to get Italian tonight." You're not being demanding, you're being clear. You are offering your preference as a valid data point in the conversation, not as a question needing approval. This small shift sends a powerful cue of self-assurance. Another powerful aspect of radiating certainty is how you handle disagreements or challenges. When your worth is tied to external agreement, any form of dissent feels like a personal attack. But when you have a strong internal compass, you can separate your ideas from your identity. You can hear a counterargument and engage with it curiously, not defensively. You can say things like, "That's an interesting point, tell me more about that," because your core sense of self is not on the line. This ability to remain calm and open, even in the face of disagreement, is one of the most potent signals of deep, unshakable confidence. It shows that you are so secure in your own foundation that you can welcome other perspectives without feeling threatened. This is the ultimate outcome of The Secret. It's not about puffing yourself up, it's about settling into yourself so deeply that your presence becomes a source of calm and clarity for others. You stop draining energy from the room by seeking approval and start contributing energy to the room through your grounded certainty. This journey from seeking external signals to navigating by your own internal compass is the essence of true confidence. It's not a personality trait you're born with, it's a skill you cultivate. It's the quiet daily practice of defining your own worth, speaking to yourself with kindness, and trusting in your own capacity. True confidence isn't a persona you wear. It's the quiet, unshakable peace that comes from knowing your own worth, independent of the room you're in. It is the freedom of finally, truly belonging to yourself. Which part of the external validation loop did you realize you were stuck in? Be honest, this is a safe space to figure it out.